Good evening, everyone. This is Your Mental Health Matters brought to you by ONV. My name is Crystal, and we are back.
We are back.
We
Happy New
are
Year.
back.
Happy
Yes.
2026.
Happy 2026. Happy February. We are excited about our show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, tonight we're going to touch on different little areas when it comes to matters of the heart. You know, February is heart health
Awareness.
awareness
Yes.
month.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, Valentine's Day. We got the love mixed in there. We got Black History mixed in there. So we're going to kind of just touch on different topics, but it's all going to be concerning matters of the heart.
All right. For
Yeah.
both mental, physical, and spiritual hearts, right?
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
So let's just jump into it. So where do you want to start?
I would say some of the statistics. One
Yes.
thing that we try to focus on for Heart Health Awareness Month is heart disease being the number one killer for adult Americans, particularly adult women.
Right.
And we need to be mindful of that so we can give the tools that they need to take better care of their hearts, their bodies,
Yes.
and what have you. So what we don't talk about all the time is, heart conditions or heart disease can be a factor of genetics too.
Right.
However, we can slow down some of those conditions and then we can kind of prevent others by what we're eating, what we're doing as far as activity,
Right.
managing our stress. And that's a big thing too, because I think, especially in these times, with the economy, society, and what have you, a lot of people are going through.
Yes, yes. And not really realizing how much that impacts our heart.
Right. And not only bad stress,
Yeah.
good stress can cause strain too.
Mm.
So we can talk about those things as well.
Yeah. So I want to kind of tap into more of like, of course, the mental along with the physical. And so when it comes to matters of the heart, a lot of people struggle with the emotions.
The emotions, correct. And
Yeah.
I think they tend to.
Hey,
wow.
hi, yeah, we're
Yeah.
good. We are good. So when it comes to matters of the heart,
Yes.
how that is connected with mental
health.
health. Yes.
So I believe in, and you can tap into
Yeah.
any physical ailment that we may have.
Mm-hmm.
It can easily turn into mental issues.
Right.
Because you think about when people are limited to what they're doing and what they can do when they have a physical injury, say,
Right.
so to speak.
Okay.
And that can change their perspective on life. If they're limited to just being at home for certain times of the day, that can affect people's emotions and it affect their outlook.
And so what does that look like when it comes to when stress is involved, when it involves not being able, like you said, to get out and be active? I mean, that impacts a lot.
Oh, yeah. And especially like in the wintertime.
In the wintertime,
Let's
yeah.
make that an example. We can take a broken leg, right? That's going to limit you probably 6 to 8 weeks as far as being mobile and active in your normal day-to-day. What would that do to you sitting at home or wherever you're confined to,
looking at the four walls,
not able to really go to work? Because
Right.
sometimes, or most times, if you have a broken leg, you're restricted from being on it, which means you can't go to work.
Right.
You can't socialize with your coworkers, friends, family, or what have you as you would normally. So that does play a part on our mental psyche when we're not as active as we
Right.
should be.
And that could turn into depression. That can look like anxiety. It can look more just being really stuck in whatever you're feeling in those moments.
Yeah, I agree. And then with bringing in the seasonal part of it too.
Yes,
If you're stuck in the house, can't go anywhere, then it's gloomy and gray outside. So we have to think about all those things.
Yeah. Okay. So let's switch gears a little bit when it comes to relationships. Again, we're tapping into different areas when it comes to matters of the heart. And so yeah, it's February. It's the love month. So a lot of people struggle with relationships and how that impacts our mental, how it impacts our physical. It impacts a lot when it comes to dealing with relationships.
I think, and not just talking about romantic relationships, we were made to be in socialization and connection with people. We were made to really have day-to-day contact with people. We weren't made to be in isolation. And a lot of times I feel the younger generation, 20s, teens, what have you, they struggle with it. One, because they don't have self-identity and enough self-esteem to not be okay with having seasons of being by themselves or what have you. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. Mr. Salafios in the house. What?
Hello.
We are so happy to see you. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Yes, all that good stuff. So you heard a little bit. We're tapping into matters of the heart and how that impacts us, not only emotionally, but physically. Everything goes hand in hand. And so I kind of was just switching gears about how, people just struggle with just relationships and how that impacts us emotionally, mentally, physically.
I always say you don't learn about relationships until you have relationships that don't work. And then it's like you go back to the drawing board, like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
But then again, it's like we talked before, a lot of that gets into the shame and the grief and the guilt, and it's hard to manage, especially just by yourself, in isolation. And we're social creatures.
Social creatures, right?
Yeah,
it's one of our strengths.
A good way to say it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
And then tapping into the how you're raised. Yeah, because I think that plays a big deal with building kids up, their emotional strength, their social strength, because that's going to play a part in how they handle relationships as they get older, whether teens, 20s, or what have you. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
And if they don't have good tools then, how can they know how to use anything when they, become adults?
Yeah. Very good points. So thinking about identity, self-esteem, knowing what your worth is. And again, not only kids, teens struggle with that because, they're in that stage of trying to figure out who they are. Right. But also, as a therapist, I get a lot of people, women, that still don't understand or realize who they are as a person. And these are women like in their 30s, their 40s, and sometimes 50s.
And that takes tapping into some of their history.
Yes.
Some of their foundations, if they have them. And then if not, I'm big on getting to the root of issues. If you keep sugarcoating it, you're not going to deal with what's, the bottom line of it, right? So when we deal with those root causes of things, then you can grow from that base. Right. Otherwise, you're just kind of treating the symptoms. Yeah. And it'll continue on 20s, 30s, 40s until you go back. So that's just my thinking on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also you made a really good point about tapping into the core, growing up, like, have you witnessed what a good relationship, a healthy relationship look like? And I know some people haven't really witnessed that growing up. And then it kind of trickles over into their relationships currently, as an adult.
Right. I think about it now, like how many healthy relationships do you have? Like if you go around all the people you know, right? How many like healthy, stable relationships can you count? And it's not a knock on anybody. Again, how do you learn how to have a good relationship if you don't have any good examples? You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And so, and again, back to kind of adding the social media aspect of it. So many people try to live out their relationships on social media.
Fantasy.
Yeah. And you don't really know who you getting.
That's
in
very
person,
true.
If all you do is communicate in that space. So that's something I think it's been hard to navigate for a lot of people, and then COVID happened.
Man,
that isolated a lot of people.
I think America, at least, and I'm not trying to bash the whole thing, but we promote individualism.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Big problem here in the last decade or so. And I don't understand that, especially with the technology, the growth in technology. Not trying to knock it. I know
no, go ahead. Speak your mind. Yeah.
However, it's replacing people, replacing relationships. You know, they have robots stocking the shelves, and I just don't understand that. And I'm the type of person that wants the human conversation,
right,
emotions,
connection.
You know,
the connection,
the facial, expression, all that.
Yeah. And then again, you always hear it. We know it takes a village, but it's like, where's the village?
They want you to be at home.
Yeah,
by yourself.
Yep.
Yes. And we wonder why people struggle with just regular conversations. Number one, when you're in a setting, especially when you think about the teenagers, most of them are on their phone when they're in a group. When you put those phones down, what kind of conversations do they really have? They don't know how to talk to each other.
Very awkward.
It's boring.
Right.
Yeah. It's boring. and they don't understand that. Again, we were made to be connected.
Yeah.
And socialize. Yes.
Yeah. I think too, we forget that social skills are skills, and you need to be taught skills.
Yes.
You need to practice your
engage
skills.
In skills.
Engage in skills practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just assume, well, they should know better. But did we ever teach them better? Did you ever teach them a more appropriate way to handle frustration, anger, whatever, emotions or relationship issues they're dealing with, which all ties together.
All ties together.
Man, it goes hand in hand,
yes.
right? Yeah. Another thing I want to mention too that I've been seeing online is this month is what's it called, like teen awareness when it comes to dating.
Oh, I didn't hear that one, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's in February, I think it's a
like teen, a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Maybe it's a couple days this month. So.
Yeah. So let's tap into that a little bit. You are in a relationship, 14, 15, 16.
That is way too young.
But but they are though. They are.
Yeah. Okay, you guys answer that one because I have a different take on all that.
I say this at its core, and maybe I don't want to sound like an old man.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, because I'm gonna sound like the old lady.
But I feel like it's really hard to date if you don't have your own vehicle and a place to go. Your own place.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so
dating what?
What are we doing?
Don't have money. Your own money. You might have mom, dad's money.
Yeah.
But again, I do feel that you got to learn about, you don't just turn 18 and all of a sudden something clicks and you're like, oh, I know how to date people.
I know how to date.
I'm grown. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
So there's that issue too. So it is something you have to address the topic sooner or later.
You have
That's
to
very
address
true.
it, but you have to set boundaries because think about it. 13, 14-year-olds, they're just now trying to figure out their individuality, right?
Yes.
So you mix in all the hormones that's going crazy, and it's legit because we're human,
right?
And that's the natural stage of life.
Very true.
However, when you start mixing in, now this is my boyfriend, and I don't really even know myself.
The controlling
that piece,
Yeah.
but then if they don't really know themselves,
right?
Then how can you really connect with somebody else? So 13, 14, no, you're not dating or. It's my boyfriend, it's my girlfriend, none of that. That's my household.
No.
Anyway, because you're not ready mentally.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And most of them do not know how to handle a breakup or
the
frustration,
so huge, right?
Yeah.
And what have you. So I encourage between 13 and I would say 16, 17 group outings.
Yeah.
Now I know they have to, learn how to socialize and know how to act in public and what have you. So encourage group dating versus the one-on-one because with that comes a lot of soul ties and a lot of pressure.
Oh wow, that's deep.
So
yeah. Again, I feel like there's that level of emotional maturity involved too. You know what I mean? It goes back to you got a lot to be dealing with. We said already.
Man,
13,
come on.
14, 15.
Yes.
There's
Body
hormones,
changes.
body changes, and school, and there's a lot going on. So why add to it? You know what I mean?
Very
if you're not
true.
handling the other stuff well, maybe we need
Right.
to pump the brakes on that.
And
But again,
who does that? the parents.
Parents, I mean, yeah.
You have to set the boundary.
It's a fine line because, you push too hard against it, they're going to rebel and do all this other
do it
stuff.
anyway.
Yeah. And again, we all did stuff we knew we wasn't supposed
to do. Of course. I mean, hey, that's...
You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like having that emotional maturity to learn from those mistakes and make better choices.
Better choices. But then having the grounding before they
Where
even
that
get
comes
to
from
that.
is parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
The grounding
Yeah.
and the boundaries, because you can't just get to your teens and not have anything to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Because that's a disaster waiting to happen.
I go back to, again, maybe it's a male thing. But
no, go ahead.
In a relationship, if I don't have nothing, why you want to be with me anyway? Like,
because they don't have nothing. I don't have nothing.
We just sit up here broke, just looking at each other, so in love.
Looking at each other.
Mature.
No lights, no food in the fridge. What?
But
no.
You don't even have a house at 13,
Yeah, that's
14.
what I'm saying. So I go back to
pressure.
Maybe I need to build myself up a bit, figure out what I'm on.
And what's happening then anyway, the early teens especially, it's just a lot of hormones every which way that you don't know how to control. You might say, hey, I like you because you're cute. But I don't know anything about you to judge whether or not you're a good person, good man. You're not even really a man yet. So that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah.
And I want to tap into the heartbreak. Like kids, oh my goodness.
That's a good
They
point
take
too.
it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Social media.
You know, to a point where they're saying, I want to take my life.
Yeah.
That's real.
It does become, that's weird. Yeah. Again, it's like we have to have this shared, issue. So, we all have this, you know what I mean? I don't know. I had a kid that was just basically every other month he had something new. You know what I'm saying? It was the hot topic of the month, which is what he was getting diagnosed with. And I'm like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So,
and if we think about it, that's the way of the world and young people now, because they're basing most everything off of what they're seeing on social media.
Very true.
The latest thing on social media. And if I just always have to go back to that foundation and that grounding. If they don't have that poured into them early on, they're not going to know how to deal with it later.
That's very
true.
So
again, that comes back to the parenting.
Is it
a bigger point show today? Yeah,
right. And to a bigger point, if you don't teach them how to be a good judge of character, they're going to run into those kids out there that are bad influences, that are manipulative. They're going to run into that. So you got to teach them
how to
think for themselves.
How to recognize it
and not believe everything they see on social media. You know what I mean?
And be pressed to do things they're not ready for.
That's right.
Because that's another thing. You were saying something about the teen abuse or teen domestic violence.
That's huge.
So that's an issue for both the male and the female.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because when you look at the female, it's probably the self-esteem.
Oh wow,
that she's gonna be in that situation. And then when you look at the male, it's probably pressure to be a man,
right?
From whatever he's seen, and to be a man means that I need to hit on you,
control you, manipulate, all that.
So that's some deeper issues.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so.
And it goes back to the parents, being able to ask questions, who is this person you hanging out with?
Exactly.
Get to know their family.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's,
they are.
Yeah. If it's a kids, if they're seeing each other hanging out more than usual, it's like, it's okay to ask questions. Like, I need to know who is Bobby.
Don't be scared.
I need to know
who's Bobby's parents.
Yes.
Right? That's what you need to know too, because you can't just send your kids down the street to hang out with their best friend. It's very different because some of the parents may not be, quality individuals that you want your kids being around.
Right.
So I would say go that step further and know who's raising those kids.
That's right.
Because if they're free and no boundaries and do whatever they want, can come and go. That
starts to rub off on.
Oh yeah, on yours.
Yes.
Yeah. So
them expecting that they can do the same thing.
No, ma'am. No, sir.
It's like no,
Ma'am,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, And everybody, again, you run into those kids where anything goes in their house. You're like, man, I want to be here for a little bit.
No rules. There's no rules.
But it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And that's scary and sad. It
is. Yeah. And I go back to, I want to encourage that community involvement. I want you to, the neighborhood to feel like a family.
Yes.
But, if everybody's not on that, and you got to be a good judge of character too. Right. I go back to, what are we teaching our kids?
And then I would say, when I brought that up a few minutes ago, as far as doing the group thing, group hangouts and what have you, you can be that type of caregiver or parent that hosts some of the things where you can get to know some of the kids they want to be around and why they want to be around. And you can judge your kid as far as how they act and interact. And if that changes when they're around their so-called friends,
very true,
then that's a conversation you can start having with them, like one-on-one. So if you don't want them at so-and-so's house down the street because you don't know them, then start hosting some of the pizza nights or whatever.
I like
and it
that.
takes the pressure off of being at 101.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with that. Even for 16-year-olds, I'm going to move it up to 17.
Okay. Hey, keeping it real.
Right.
Keeping it real.
So,
well, you got to be tapped in with them, and I also feel like it's important to go to school events too with the kids.
Yes.
And the
it
little
matters.
parties and stuff. My daughter had like a penguin party today. And they all wore black
that's
and white,
cute. Yeah.
I'm going on this other, I think it's down to Indianapolis, so it must be to the Children's Museum, field trip.
Yep.
My 9-year-old's doing, you know what I mean? So being involved in that, and I think showing your face there, and you're meeting the other kids that are with your kid every day during the week, and then their parents are around too, so you can kind of meet people,
Very true, very true. And so, it starts with the parents being able to know your kids, have that bond, and being a role model. So if you are, mom, dad, whomever, if you're having people in and out the house, think about kids are seeing that.
Right.
So you got to think about, like, I can't be doing everything in front of my kids.
No.
That's very true.
I'm just saying.
And how long does it take you to really get to know somebody? You know what I mean? Like, in them 6 months, I don't know if they should be in and out your house.
No.
Just with no, you know what I mean?
With that, are you talking about like dating others? Okay. Yeah, because especially if you have younger kids, I would say wait until that thing is serious. And I'm not saying stop your life, but everybody feel like they need to live their best life.
Right.
Even with young kids.
Right.
Around. You don't have to stop dating, but don't date in front of your kids, especially if it's a different person every few months. That's just not healthy for you. It's not healthy for them to see that either. And if it's not serious, meaning if you're not about to get a ring or put a ring on it, then I wouldn't even bring them around the kids. And then just date when you can, get your kids a babysitter or what have you. That's just setting it up for some negative
and I struggle
outcomes.
with that. I really do. Because, you're right. I don't want to tell nobody how to live their life.
Right.
But
No, I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, when there's kids involved, man, it's like, it'd be different if it was just me. Oh,
That's
don't worry about
different.
me?
That's different.
That's different. But the kids didn't ask to be here. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that takes a little bit more stepping up, making that sacrifice. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even necessarily, again, I go back to, relationships, sure, but education, jobs, those kind of things. You start moving your life around for people you just met, and it's just
that's
not
a whole nother level.
The chances of things going bad compared to the chances of things going good. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take those odds. You know me? So and having the support, of the people that actually care about you. I think that's crucial too. I think a lot of people cut that off to chase those relationships. Especially if they don't like your significant other, and you isolate, and it just leads to bad things,
Right. And that's a clear sign, clear red flag when they're isolating you from others, especially your loved ones.
So again, we are talking about matters of the heart and how matters of the heart, how it impacts us not only mentally, but emotionally, physically. And so we're tapping into teens. We're talking about teen dating. We're talking about how parents can, just have a better connection with their kids, because again, it's a lot going on in this world.
Yeah.
You know, and so you gotta, you know, again, we're not judging, but being more involved with your child, you
setting
know,
boundaries early on.
Yes.
Because really from 0 to probably about 10, that's when you raise them.
Well, let's talk about boundaries for a second.
Yes.
Because we do talk about boundaries a lot, but like, what would you say? Like, how do we define boundaries in this situation? Because I think a lot of people think of boundaries as a negative thing.
Yeah, they do.
What age group are you talking about? Just from 0 on?
Yeah, let's start with teens, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
You can't raise them when they're 13, 14, 15.
Right on.
You're just kind of polishing them up until they become adults.
Right.
So the rearing comes from 0 to about 10-ish.
Okay.
And that's where you're putting in the values, what your expectations are, what you hope that they will gain as far as setting the tone.
Gotcha.
So
I see. And I don't disagree. My thought is I feel like 13 is where the parenting really starts, because that's when kids can start seeing through adults' mess. They can start to see when you full of soup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they can start to tell, and now you gotta really gotta connect with them. Yeah. So now it's a matter of you got that boundary, but also there's a reason why. You know what I mean?
Right.
Explanation.
Yeah.
So you set the boundary then before then, and then maybe 13. I don't agree with kids need an explanation every time you say something.
True,
right?
True. There's information seeking, and then there's making excuses to delay what I'm what I'm supposed to be doing. There's a difference. Right. I learned that.
So yeah, and again, I think that is a part of the polishing.
Yeah,
because you can't just come in. Say, for instance, a kid. You have a significant other that comes into a child's life at the age of 12, 13.
Right.
You cannot allow that person. I'm sorry. You cannot allow that person to just take over
the parenting
of that 12, 13-year-old, because one, they're already going to buck it anyway.
Oh, man. You ain't my daddy. You ain't my mama.
You ain't my mama. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
So, again, you have to make that, whoever that primary caregiver parent is, from 0 to 10, make the best of it as far as putting the values and instilling the boundaries, because when they do become teenagers, preteens, or what have you, the hormones are going to be talking more so anyway. So you're going to get a lot of lip.
Yeah.
I feel like it's up to that point you're preparing. They're all cute and sweet, they're babies. You know what I'm saying? You feed them, you change their diapers. They're all pretty much the same at a certain point. Yeah.
Right.
But they have
you gotta do that. You got to do that stuff though.
Yeah.
A lot of dads don't be doing that stuff, and you really got to.
But that's when you establish the trust.
But at 13, man, now I got a parent. Now I got
because you got to get in the trenches.
Yes.
And then be up
it
on
ain't
their
the 80s.
game.
You can't just beat them up. Like
I know.
You said it's not the 80s.
They got all these 800 numbers now.
To the moon. Yeah, you can't do that.
That is so true. That's
you know what I'm saying?
So, it's different now. It's different.
Oh my God.
It's so
you gotta have your
different.
lecture game on point.
Yes.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Totally
you need to sit down.
It used to be a time where you could just give them the eye. Oh my God.
Man, they had to say nothing. They had to say nothing.
Yep.
It's just
But
that
now
look.
it's like,
Seen and not heard.
They had a number.
Man. That's around. We have you all over TikTok. Yeah, nah, you don't want that. That's not good look.
No, not so
At
much.
all.
Not so
Oh
much.
my God.
So, but no, I feel you though. Yes, you establish that trust and those boundaries, because then at 13 it'll actually work.
And they'll remember. They'll remember.
You've been there, and you
the
going
conversations.
through it all.
They'll remember whatever you instilled in them.
Right.
And then when you trust them enough to go out with their friends at 13 to the movies or whatever, and something comes up that's not in their value bag, right? At least they'll have a conscience and a fallback. Whether they make that quote unquote right decision or not, you've told them, you've taught them, and they have a conscience to make the right decision. But if you don't teach them nothing, they're just going to do whatever the crowd does, right?
And I feel like that's the whole point. You know what I mean? Is to teach them good decision making.
Yes, decision making.
So when it comes to choosing a partner, choosing someone you want to really put your love and trust and devotion into,
your everything.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You got to make the right decision,
Right.
And I also feel like it takes time.
It does.
So going back to teen dating and stuff, if you meet somebody at 13, 14, are they the same person at 23, 25?
No.
You know?
That's a hard no.
Yeah. So much change in that decade, you know, in 5 years from 13 to 18. So much change.
Right.
So again, I feel like it takes at least 5 years to really get to know somebody. You got to see them at highs and lows.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying?
Every season.
Yeah. People get weird when they down here and when they up here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right.
Let somebody win the lottery on you and they gonna act funny. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe not everybody. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, we're wrapping up. It's about that time. So again, we were just talking about matters of the heart and just how, you know, relationships and how all that plays into, you know, our mental health, our emotional, our mental, and we kind of ended off with just teen dating and just how we can help our teens to be the best versions of themselves when they're going through what they're going through, right? And so I know this is not going to be the last topic. I definitely want to do a part 2, you know. So we are Your Mental Health Matters. We are on every first and third Fridays at 7:30. So please check us out. The next time we'll be doing a part 2 and when it comes to matters of the heart. So until next time, please protect your mind, protect your heart, protect your everything.